Now, here's more of the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show on the Big Talker, 1250 WTMA.
Welcome back as the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show continues here on the Big Talker, 1250 WTMA, talking about the upcoming shift in the real estate market here in Charleston, regionally, nationally, what that means for you, somebody thinking of buying, selling, or investing in real estate. I'm your host, Brian Beatty. I always like to take a little bit of time to just say thank you to those of you that listen to this program. I love being on this program. I always enjoy talking to folks after the program airs, answering their questions, being of help to them, potentially earning their business. If that's something I can do for you, if you'd love to learn more about the market, if you need some good contacts, maybe you need a good contractor or anything real estate related, we're here to help. My team and I are blessed with having a very nice business and a bunch of clients that we love working with, and we certainly appreciate WTMA and Cumulus for 5 years of us having this program. So if I can help you in any way, shape, or form, my number is 843-345-1273. Again, that's 843-345-1273. Or you can go to my website, listingsincharleston.com. That's listingsincharleston.com. So we were talking about the shift in the market. That's what we're going to talk about this for the remainder of the show. And I want to mention this for just a few moments because there are so many agents in our market right now that are new. They've gotten into the industry because they figured they can leave their, hourly job, get into real estate, sell a few homes a year, and make more money than they ever thought possible on an annual basis. And in some instances, that's true. And I've had some of those fantastic success stories on my own team. I took a landscaper off a lawnmower and helped him make over $150,000 a year for 2 years consistently, and he's in his mid-20s. So there are fantastic opportunities in this market if you're trained well and you know how to prepare for a shift. Because as I mentioned, and there's some stats that back it up from earlier in the program, it's happening. I'm a member of several different mastermind groups, and I'm coached by a guy that was selling 100 homes a month before he got out and started coaching full-time. And we've been talking about the shift for months and months and months. And what are you going to do to prepare for the shift? What can you start doing now? It's anybody that's selling real estate at a high level has already been talking about this for months. It's just that now it's starting to surface on a more kind of national level, so to speak. People have kind of figured out that it's not hype. It's just that for those of us that have been through the shift before, we know what to look for and we can see the signs. And so here's what agents do typically to prepare for a shift. And this is not, I am not prescribing this as what to do if you're an agent listening. This is what most agents do and how this is going to impact you as a buyer or a seller. The first thing they do is they start cutting expenses. The first thing they start doing is saying, all right, what are some of these expenses that I can cut out? Okay, professional photography, I'm spending $30,000 a year on professional photography. I'm going to cut that out. I'm going to take photos myself. Huge mistake. I'm going to stop paying for some of these websites to syndicate my listing. I'm going to get better at pricing, and I'm going to just let the MLS sell the house. Big mistake. There are all these different avenues that agents start looking at to start to kind of trim the fat, or at least their perceived fat. And all it does is remove opportunity for exposure for you as a seller. Or they cut down on their systems, they cut down on their staff, which leads to worse levels of customer service and the overall experience you're going to have. And then agents start saying, all right, well, I've been doing this on my own. I'm selling 4 homes a year. It's just not enough to live off of. I'm going to go join a real estate team because they realize they need training. They're asking more either out of the brokerage that they're at, or they're interested in joining a team because they've never been through a shift before. And they're realizing that it is harder than just taking some nice photos, putting it on the MLS, maybe doing an open house, posting it on their own Facebook page, and then boom, it's sold 2 weeks later. There will be a thinning of the herd, no doubt, as our market continues to shift. And that's okay because a lot of agents are in it on a part-time gig. They'll sell a few homes a year, but they have a full-time job. And while I don't discourage that in any way, shape, or form, you as the seller are going to start noticing, if you haven't already, if you've tried selling your home this year and it didn't work out, then maybe you have already realized that there is a difference between the agent that's experienced, that's been through a market like this, that knows how to sell when the market's challenging for a seller rather than when everything is in the seller's favor. And you're going to have to start making some decisions of, okay, well, do I work with my friend who has a license and he sells a few homes a year and he's close and I don't want to ruin the relationship. But at the same time, I've got a nice house and I've got equity and I don't want to lose equity. I don't want to put my home in the hands of somebody that doesn't know how to help me keep as much of the money that I have earned in my home as possible. That's really what it boils down to. And I get a lot of calls from people that say, hey, I know a ton of real estate agents. And my brother-in-law is a real estate agent. I don't want to do business with them because if I choose one of them, it ruins everything. So I'm going to pick a third-party person. And, we work with them. We help them out. We get the job done. And everybody is still happy. But that's what sellers are going to start feeling, is they're going to start realizing that the agent that they have hired, that they might have a relationship with, might be a good friend, but not a great real estate agent. And their home is sitting on the market. They're waffling. The agent doesn't have the tools or the systems or the marketing outreach or the experience to navigate this market. As it continues to shift, I guarantee you a large percentage of the population of agents in Charleston are going to be scratching their head asking what in the world is going on. The sellers are going to ask the same question. The agents are going to get nervous. They're going to just kind of make up something to make themselves look good. Tell you, hey, everything's okay. We're doing everything we need to be doing. The property continues to sit on the market. It doesn't sell. And then it turns into, one of the, 5,000 or so. What's the number? I've got it right here. One of the, 5,000 people already this year that have not had their home sold, that have expired or canceled from the market. We've had 17,000 closings, by the way. So 17,000 closings and 5,000 people that didn't sell their home, and we've got 5,000 people on the market still. So agents are going to start joining teams. I have a team. I've got 18 people on my team. I've been through the market, all cycles of it. I understand what to do, when to do it. And that cutting expenses is not necessarily the answer. You're also going to have people that are going to start leaving teams because they're going to say, okay, well, I need to keep more of my money, so I can't afford to pay a commission split to my team. I want to sell a home and I want to keep 100% of it. But then they realize, oh man, now I have expenses. Oh man, now I have to create leads for myself. Oh man, now I need systems and training and leverage and people and experience. Especially if the person that owns that team has been through a market shift before. Basically, agents start cutting off their own limbs until one day they wake up and realize that the jig is up and they got to go get a job. And so for you as a seller, now is the time to start asking some very challenging questions. You need to better understand what their level of experience is. They need to be able to communicate with you about the state of the market at a very high level. Because if they can't or they don't, then you're going to be one of those people that enters the market overpriced. You sit and you sit and you sit. You're not being properly communicated with. The agent might not even know how to properly interpret the market to position you to sell. And then you're going to be one of those sellers that calls me 6 months later and says, hey, I've tried selling my home. It didn't work. Can you help? And then I come in and we rebrand the property. We attach our marketing plan to it. We create massive exposure, make it look really good. We do a free pre-listing home inspection. We do professional photography, all the things that we do, and we price it correctly. There are a lot of homes out there that we have to have very challenging conversations with that seller to help them better understand what went wrong. There are also some instances in which, at least on the surface level, it looks like everything was done right. They have professional photos with their previous agent. And their previous agent did, 4 open houses and had flyers in the front yard. And from the seller's perspective, hey, my agent really tried. They did the best that they could. Well, then it begs the question, is the best that they can do good enough to get you what you need out of this process, to accomplish your goal, to keep as much money as possible that you've already built up in the form of equity in your home. That's where we come in. And over 60% of the listings that we sell were previously listed by another real estate agent. And a third of all of our sales sell in a week or less. That number is going to change as the market changes. There's a little bit of luck involved with that. I'm not here to say that, hey, I can guarantee that I'm going to sell your home in 7 days or less, but it's all part of the strategy. In order to develop a strategy for you, we have to ask a lot of questions. We have to know the market like the back of our hand. We have to have a level of experience that shows you we are confident in our ability to sell your home because we've done it before in this current climate at a very high level. So if that's something that you'd like to discuss with me off air, again, my cell phone number is 843-345-1273. That's 345-1273. Or go to my website, listingsincharleston.com. That's listingsincharleston.com. Stick around because when we come back, I want to talk a little bit more about how this shift is going to impact you, and I want to focus on the buyer side of the business for a moment. So stick around. This is the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show right here on the Big Talker 1250 WTMA.
Find Brian Beatty online at listingsincharleston.com. The Brian Beatty Real Estate Show continues next on the Big Talker 1250 WTMA.